Everybody, Horizon here. This is segment 3 of my entire experience with getting my vertical sleeve gastrectomy with Mexico Bariatric Center in Tijuana, Mexico. I'm a little winded. Those last two videos have really kind of dug it out of me. Day 5 and 6. This is my traveling home. Being in San Diego, and then brief touch of home life, although I wasn't home, I was at my sister's. So day 5, let's see, I woke up really early in the morning because I got a really good night's rest. I think I woke up at 5:30 or 6, and I wanted to take a shower, so I took a shower, and I took a really long shower, like one that you just take your sweet ass time in, and you're just standing under the water, and it was just great. Like I said, the Hyatt was so beautiful. The bathroom was like really cool, and I was surely taking advantage of it. Yeah, so I took a really long shower, dried off, redressed all my bandages, or redressed all my incisions and wounds to kind of check them out, see what was going on with them, and then I got dressed and had some Jello that I had left over from the night before that I could only eat like 3 or 4 little nibbles out of. So I ate some of that and made some broth as well, because I don't know what it is. I think it's because it's warm, but broth just sits really well in my little pouch. My pouch likes it. So, yeah, had some broth in the morning. I guess it was kind of like coffee, but I don't drink coffee, but I guess it was kind of like coffee. And then I was like, I had to wrestle with my bag because I bought so many freaking souvenirs back, and had to repack everything. Just a word to the wise, don't bring your own water. I brought 4 huge bottles of water, and I brought 2 big huge Powerades. I'm glad I brought the Powerades because I made sure to drink at least one of these bad boys per day while I was after I left the hospital. No, I drank one the day of the hospital, and then the day after the hospital I made sure to be drinking one as well. And then so I brought those, but those 4 waters I brought, I'd never even drank. I just left them in the refrigerator in my room, hoping maybe a maid or somebody would want them. Yeah, there was so much water. You get water from everywhere. So, yeah. So, yeah, wrestling with my bag, packing it up, making sure I was ready for the day, and then I got all ready, watched a little bit of TV, then I passed back out again for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I think I slept until like 10, so yeah, however long. And then I messaged Tinkerbell, asked her if they were getting ready to check out yet, and our checkout time, our ride was supposed to be there at 1. We ended up checking out of our rooms at like 11, and just to get it done, and we went downstairs with all of our stuff, left it by the door. We had some broth, or was it broth? Yeah, we had broth, and I think it was just broth, maybe Jello, I don't know, I can't remember. And then Tinkerbell and I just kind of walked laps around the lobby until our shuttle got there. And then we kind of just hung out with Jesus, who was just sitting there by the front door. Just kind of talked with him. Oh my gosh, like 2 minutes before our shuttle got there, I asked Tinkerbell, I was like, oh, do you have like a passport, or did you get a passport card? And she's like, I got a passport. I was like, oh, that's cool. And I went into my purse to grab my passport card, and it wasn't in there. I panic. I dump everything out of my purse. I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my god, I'm not going to get back across the border. And then I get up and I tell Jesus, I'm like, I don't know where my passport is. Like, I have this holder that it comes in, and it wasn't in there, and I was freaking out. He's like, well, maybe it's in your bag. And I was like, I would never have taken it out of my purse for nothing. Like, once I put it in my purse, it just stayed there. There was no reason for me to take it out because I haven't needed to use it. So I'm almost in tears, and Tinkerbell's like, just calm down, it's okay. And he's like, you have your driver's license, right? I was like, yeah. And he's like, you'll get across the border. He goes, you don't look Mexican, you would not pass for Mexican. So that kind of made me chuckle a little bit. I felt a little bit better, but I was freaking out. And then right as our shuttle guy gets there, he's taking our bags in, I decide to... So when I got to my sister's before I left to the airport, before all this even went down, I slid my passport card holder in this back pocket of my bag. And when I pulled the paper out, my card had stuck in there. So through all the traveling and stuff, the card didn't fall out. But anyways, so it was there, and I was like, oh my god. So anyways, that was scary. So found my passport card, was very relieved. I'm glad I didn't have to open my suitcase, because that would have been a disaster to get packed back up again. So it's about 1 o'clock, and we are heading back up to San Diego. And Tinkerbell and her husband weren't leaving until early the next morning, Friday morning. So they had a hotel room waiting for them by the airport at the Sheridan. Right on the marina. Beautiful, beautiful place. So, and my flight didn't leave until 9 p.m. that night. So they're like, hey, why don't you come, hang out with us at our hotel room. And maybe we can do a little exploring. And then, you can just shuttle over, because there's a shuttle from the hotel to the airport. And I was like, awesome, that's great. So I just went with them to their hotel. They got all checked in. We went up to their room. I took lots of pictures from their balcony, because they were right on the marina, and there were just sailboats for miles. It was beautiful. I'm not used to palm trees. I'm used to like fir trees and stuff in Oregon. So the palm trees were just absolutely amazing to me. And like every time I saw one, I had to take a picture of it. And so we just kind of hung out, milled around in their hotel room. And then, oh, they had to go to the airport because their tickets were kind of effed up. So they needed to go get that straightened out. So I was like, you know what? It's like 4 o'clock. Why don't I go ahead and just go with you there, and then I'll just stay there with my stuff. I just want to make sure I'm there. So I ended up going to the airport there, and I chilled there for 5 hours. I think at like 6:30, 7 o'clock, I went up finally to check my bag. And because I didn't want to sit at the gate too long, but I went ahead and let them know when I was checking my bag that I just had surgery and that I would appreciate some assistance. By doing that, they ask you if you need a wheelchair or want one. I opted for one because the security line was so long, and I know I could not have stood for that long waiting. So I got the wheelchair. They also gave me a pre-boarding pass. So that allowed me to get on the airplane very first, and I got to pick my seat very first, and I picked the very front seat that has that wide area that like I could like stretch my legs and move around, because I was like terrified that I would get like a blood clot or something. And I didn't wear my compression socks. I thought about doing, but I was like, oh no, it's only a 2.5 hour flight. My flight kept getting delayed, by the way. So anyways, so while on the plane, I got to before I got on the plane, waiting at the gate, I went in search of a Powerade Zero, and lo and behold, I found a little one that cost me $4, but I found one nonetheless. Because again, after being dehydrated, my main goal, my main focus is staying hydrated. So definitely getting the electrolyte stuff. So anyways, so I get wheeled onto the plane, pick my seat, sit down. Nobody wants to sit next to me, because I guess I'm just the overweight girl that's gonna make people feel crowded. And I chose the window seat so I wouldn't be like spilling over into two people or like in an aisle or anything. So eventually somebody sat down next to me, like, but the seat in between us was still empty for a long time. And then they closed the door to the plane, and then finally someone from the back of the plane didn't have anywhere to sit, so they come all the way back up and then sat down. So that was kind of made me kind of self-conscious, but at that point I was like, you know what, I'm tired, I don't care. In a few months this won't be even an issue, hopefully. So yeah, that was it was sad, but I got over it. On the airplane, I kept like stretching my legs out in front of me. I kept kind of bouncing them. I got up one time to use the restroom. I didn't feel very stable, and like standing up and sitting down, a little rough, makes you feel sore because of, like I said, your incisions. Internally in your stomach, you don't really feel pain. I never felt any pain. I feel pain or soreness from the incisions. And the main ones that cause any sort of pain are the drain hole, and then the one on the very bottom on the right side, for some reason, have been sore. But all the other ones I haven't had any soreness with. So, so yes, sitting down and standing up were a little bit of a task, especially when you have pain meds, but your goal is to not need to be on them. So I think I only took one pain pill that day, and I only took one pain pill. Yeah. Anyways, so I moved my legs around. I noticed that my ankles started swelling, and then I kind of started freaking out in my head. I just kept moving and moving my legs and stretching them out, and in my head, just hey, it's okay, you're fine. So started kind of having a little mini panic thing there on the plane, but all was well, and I landed finally in Portland just after midnight, and had a wheelchair waiting for me at the gate there, so that was cool. I was the first one on the plane. I was like the third person off the plane. Had a wheelchair there waiting for me, and the Portland airport is pretty big compared to, say, like Oakland and San Diego. Those ones are really small. So it was really nice actually having the wheelchair assistance in Portland when I got there, because that's a long walk, and I was exhausted, and like I said, my ankles were kind of swelling, so I was kind of freaking out, but I was also freaking out that I needed to do some walking. So after we got to past the gates and all that stuff, ran into my sister and my nephew and his little buddy. My nephew had a rose waiting for me. Thank you, Jerry Bear. And then he asked if we want to go to baggage claim, and I said yes, but I'll go ahead and walk. This has been great. And I thanked him. He went on his way. I went downstairs. My nephew grabbed my bag for me. Headed back to my sister's house. She lives in Vancouver, pretty close to the airport, so I just went home with her. I left my car with her too, so yeah, so that was the extent of the trip. That night I did sleep really well too. I slept on my stomach again. My whole experience was absolutely phenomenal. Like, I figured it was going to be good, but I didn't think it was going to be at that magnitude. Like, I felt like royalty the whole time. I felt very important. I didn't feel like it was a chop shop in any way. Like, I felt like I was important as an individual, and they genuinely cared about my well-being. And I really feel like I had better care down there than I would have here. I feel like a lot of the times here it's just kind of a push and go, and down there I didn't get that. So I want to thank Mexico Bariatric Center and every single one of their staff personally. You guys were all so fantastic, and I highly, highly, highly recommend MBC to anyone who's thinking about going to Mexico. It's an all-inclusive package. All you have to do is get to San Diego, and the rest of the thing, like, you and your companion get to San Diego, and then everything else is covered from there. Your travel companion has to buy food for themselves, but everything down there is so cheap, and you get authentic Mexican food. Oh my god, what a bummer that I was in a foreign country and I couldn't even eat any of the food. That sucked. But I will be going back, and I'm going to eat some of that food. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, totally recommend it. My whole entire ordeal was $4,200. And then my airline tickets were a round trip, less than $300. And then, you know, like if you want to buy other things like vitamins, I did get bariatric versions because those ones are designed to be absorbed with your new stomach. So, and I went to bariatricchoice.com and I got a package I got the gastric sleeve package of vitamins. You'll see what vitamins came with that in my other video. But that was only $130. All the other sites want like $300 for those kinds of things. So, and then I picked up additional vitamins on the way. Biotin, vitamin B12, I think, or B1 or something. Yeah. So, the whole thing is like under $5,000. Here in the States, just to do the surgery alone, that doesn't count all your follow-ups and all your appointments before and after, the nutritionist. I mean, just the surgery alone is like $30,000 to $35,000. So, if you're thinking about going to Mexico, I would highly recommend it. At least with MBC, I can say personally, hands down, I would do it again in a heartbeat. No regrets. The only thing I don't like right now is clear liquids. I'm sick of them. So sick of clear liquids. I'm ready to move on to something else. I have been sipping on this little Premier protein shake I just started a little bit ago, but it kind of made me a little nauseous, so I stopped doing that. And I'll try it again here in a little bit. And I need some more selection here. Powerade, water, Jello, and broth. Just not cutting it for me anymore. I would like protein shakes and maybe some V8 and, you know, just other liquids. So, thanks for tuning in. That was my complete experience. I hope I didn't, like, bore any of you, and I know it was a really long experience. I mean, it was a week, so, and there was a lot happening in there. Again, if I forgot to touch base on anything or didn't touch base and elaborate on anything in particular that you yourself would like to know more about, please do not hesitate to ask me to do so. I would love to. My goal is to educate as much as I possibly can, inform, motivate, inspire, you name it. I just want to excuse me. I just want to help. And I know how much YouTube videos helped me in my research in making my decision. And it put me at ease knowing real people have had real experiences, and you know, it's not all pretty. Like I said, I got dehydrated. It happens. Excuse me. I had blood pressure issues. I dry heaved so bad. Oh, but like I said, still no regrets. I had a great experience, and I want to share every experience with you. Good, bad, ugly, you name it. So, thanks so much for tuning in, you guys. I really, really appreciate everyone commenting and liking my videos, subscribing, and take care, guys. I know I've taken up enough of your time. So, have a good night.